natural history this year.
Doesn't he look like Darwin?
Yeah. Speaking of Darwin, isn't he the one who said survival of the...
Strongest?
No, I think it was smartest. Actually, it's not the strongest nor the most intelligent of the species that survives, but the one most responsive to change.
What do you mean by that?
Well, with this he meant that the species that are able to adapt to their environment are more likely to survive in this cruel world. For example, the mammoths were very strong animals, but when the Ice Age ended, they weren't able to readjust to the warmer climate and therefore went extinct.
Extinction is when an organism or a group of organisms cease to exist. The main reason why species become extinct is that they're unable to adapt to their surroundings. However, there are exceptions. The dinosaurs disappeared of a natural disaster. For a species to be successful, it needs to have a high amount of offsprings for its probability to survive. Due to a higher amount of individuals, the variation increases and therefore the species is more likely to be able to survive in its ever-changing environment. The individuals with the most successful genes will survive and bring forth a new generation with similar genes, although the individuals with less successful genes will die, and in some cases even an entire species can falter, which means it becomes extinct.
Neanderthals, sometimes seen as a subspecies to humans, is a prehistorical species that went extinct about 30,000 years ago. Neanderthals share a common ancestor with us humans and were closely related to Homo sapiens, Homo sapiens sapiens ancestor. The difference between Neanderthals and Homo sapiens were primarily the shape of the skull. Neanderthals had a relatively bigger skull than Homo sapiens and hence probably a bigger brain, although they also possessed a bigger body and therefore more brain cells were needed to control the body, which meant that they had about the same intelligence as Homo sapiens, even though their brains were bigger. They also had other physical differences due to the fact that they lived in what now is known as Southern Europe. To keep warm, they had a greater amount of body hair compared to the Homo sapiens. In addition to this, they had more body fat and were fairly shorter than Homo sapiens in order to keep warm in the current cold climate.
But why did they become extinct?
I'll tell you when we get home.
But I don't want to go to your place.
I have cookies.
Well, I'm starting to get hungry.
Okay, so now I can tell you how Neanderthals became extinct. So, the reason why Neanderthals became extinct is unclear, but by comparing the year when Neanderthals disappeared and Homo sapiens arrived in Europe, there is definitely a link between the two events. Another event that probably contributed to the extinction of Neanderthals is the eruption of the volcano Campiflagre, although many scientists believe that the species was already done for. Volcano eruption or not, because Homo sapiens were much better at gathering resources and there were none left for the Neanderthals. Kind of how I'm taking this last cookie.
I
and
want
there are
that.
none left for you.
I'm hungry. Damn those Homo sapiens, they killed my beloved cave lion.
Wow, tell me more!
Who are you talking to? The cave lion, also known as Panthera leospalea, was the most fearful mammal that existed until it became extinct about 2,000 years ago. It's a common mistake to say that the cave lion is a descendant from the Panthera leofossilis, but through genetic research, scientists have come to a conclusion that it is its own species. The cave lions usually preys on the prehistorical horses and prehistorical elephants, but had a wide array of mammals they feasted on. One of the most unusual but impressive prey is the cave bear, which also contributed to its name. Scientists have found a lot of fossils in the caves from both the cave bear and the cave lion. They also believe that these feline creatures were opportunists and fed on the bears while they were asleep. The cave lion looks a lot like today's modern lion, except for its dark fur, and it doesn't have a mane. Also, the cave lion can weigh up to 360 kilograms, which is more than the mother lion. No one knows why it became extinct, but the scientists believe that cave art meant that the early human fought battles of life and death because of the food that both lions, wolves, and early humans hunted.
And she was like, yeah, and I was like, what the?
And that
what
is how they
even
became
doing?
extinct.
Oh, sorry, I gotta go. And wasn't that interesting? Today, we talked about... What?
Am I supposed to talk? Evolution?
And...
Extinction?
And...
That was it?
And...
Who are you talking to?
Very good. Thank you so much for watching. Join us next week when we read her diary.
What? Wait, is there a hidden camera somewhere?
Bye!
Wait, where? Where is it?
Hello?
Is there something there?
Our whole universe was in a hot, dense state that nearly 14 billion years ago expansion started. Wait, the earth began to cool, the autotrophs began to drool, Neanderthals developed tools, we built a wall. We built the pyramids, math, science, history, unraveling the mystery that all started with a Big Bang. Music and mythology, Einstein and astrology, it all started with a Big Bang.